Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Happy New Year. My New Year basically starts today because my birthday was yesterday, and I usually take the first week of January to just still be in the last year. So New Year, new day today. I wanted to come on here and answer a question that we got on our welcome post. I'm going to be coming back live on Facebook weekly, or as much as I can, to talk about PCOS and answer your questions. So today we're talking about irregular cycles and what you can do. There are so many things you can do. The issue with irregular cycles is figuring out why they're irregular to begin with. So there isn't just, take this one pill or, eat this one type of way and your cycles will become regular again. It's more about learning about why is the cycle irregular to begin with. So I'm going to talk about some of the causes of irregular cycles today, and then next time I come on, I'll talk about what you can do to regulate cycles. So this is part one of irregular cycles in PCOS. So some of the causes of irregular cycles. First thing is figuring out if there's insulin resistance. So when the cell can't absorb glucose anymore, the cell becomes insulin resistant, and then when we have more insulin around, this can impact our ability to ovulate, because what happens is insulin can increase testosterone in that ovary, and that can cause irregular cycles from happening because more testosterone around will impact the ability for that follicle to grow, make estrogen so that we can actually ovulate. So insulin resistance can increase testosterone, that can cause irregular cycles. So that's number one, is figuring out if there's insulin resistance present. Some of the tests that can be done to find out if insulin resistance is there is fasting insulin, fasting glucose, HbA1c, and my all-time favorite test is an insulin glucose challenge test. This is different than an oral glucose tolerance test. In an oral glucose tolerance test, you're going to drink that glucose drink, and then they're going to test your glucose over a 2-hour period. This is only testing glucose. So when we test insulin alongside glucose in this test, the insulin glucose challenge test, we actually find insulin resistance this way. A lot of people are told they don't have insulin resistance because their fasting levels look okay, but when we challenge the body with glucose and we look at insulin for the 2-hour period, this is where we actually find insulin resistance. So figuring out if insulin resistance is there is number one. Another thing that can really impact cycles for women with PCOS is higher levels of TSH. This is thyroid stimulating hormone. So the thyroid can actually play a huge function in irregular cycles. So testing the thyroid, but then testing a full thyroid panel. So your TSH, free T3, free T4, anti-TPO, and anti-TG, to really understand how the brain is working alongside that thyroid. This will really help to support and understand why maybe your cycles are irregular and could be one of the causes. Really important, especially if you're trying to conceive, because you want that TSH to be less than 2.5, especially because it can also impact miscarriages as well. So the thyroid is number two. So insulin resistance, thyroid, higher levels of prolactin can actually cause irregular cycles as well. We do see this in women with PCOS, and so it's important to test prolactin around cycle day 3, so the 3rd day of your period, to figure out if that could be one of the causes as well. Another thing that can, throw off cycles is lack of ovulation. So the fact that you're not getting your period can actually throw off the next cycle. So low levels of progesterone can impact our ability to actually ovulate on the next cycle. What's really interesting is you actually only make progesterone after ovulation. So how do we get, progesterone there, and how do we ovulate to begin with? And one of the things that I've found that's really helpful is giving a little bit of natural progesterone, or bioidentical, I should say, bioidentical micronized progesterone, because this can actually help the body to ovulate. It helps to bring the testosterone down, it helps that estrogen to rise, and it allows us to ovulate. So figuring out, the balance between estrogen and progesterone in the body is important to then understanding some of the treatments that we can use. So these are a few things that we need to consider when there are irregular cycles. Obviously, there's so much that we need to do when it comes to treating some of these causes. So next week when I come on, I'm going to talk about what we can do to actually regulate cycles and some of the treatments that I've seen work with some of the women I have worked with over the last many years and myself. I'll give you a little bit of personal experience of my history of irregular cycles. I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next week.